And we are back in action. I remembered it was on slot 3 because I am a professional. So I'm here, I'm back, I'm dripped out of my mind. I thought about it. I was like, that's a thing that would be funny to say. And I said it and I hated it. Gmod will happen. I am a man of my word. I just don't really know when. It might. I'm carefully thinking about how I want to format things, because it's just sort of been, for the most part, Cry of Fear back to back, just because it was easy. Hey, a costume. But like maybe next week, I might break out the old sandbox. We'll see how things work out. See how I'm feeling. I also have something else kind of in the works. Which I said it like that. Now it sounds like it's some big thing. It's really nothing. It's just more so, it's another case of me thinking about how I need a screwdriver. Right. I need to figure out what I need, like how I want to format things. Because, I'm considering, getting a full playthrough and then pushing things out. I'm not gonna actually say what it is. That'd be spoilers, brother. You gotta be surprised with what I do. That's where the fun comes from. What is it? There's gotta be something here, right? Perhaps through this door. Please let me. Maybe I can't go through. Unless, wait. It's like a. Oh, there's the screwdriver. Never mind. Inventory full. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. I don't know what to drop. Dude, you can't. Dude, I need that. That's like really important. 2 recipes as a weapon. This sucks. That's going to go away. Dude, look, I have so much. You think I'll get another? Maybe I will. I mean, like, that's the thing. They recently dropped it again. I got it. I got to gamble on it. I just have to. I guess we'll put that in slot 3. Why aren't you going in slot 3? What? Hello? Whatever. Not whatever. What? Just roll out. What if I look in? It's still there. Wonder how long it'll stay there. How far can I go? I should go back and use the screwdriver, because I don't know where this is leading me. And that's like, yeah, okay, we're going back to the screwdriver. I've also really got to think about what I want to do with the sandbox, the Gmod sandbox. I've got a few ideas, because I can't just like go in and like spawn in process and be like, oh, what's going? Like I know what's going on. There's not me discovering what's happening, but I'm gonna do it. There it is, the fuse. Come on. Alright, well now that I have more information, check this out. I dropped this early. I put this in slot... No. I put this in slot 3. Now I know when I get the fuse, which I guess it makes sense. I guess the fuse would, but probably, yeah. Ooh. Hello? Anything? You're kidding. Don't give me that. I was hoping for health. You're telling me a city bus like this, in that condition, you're telling me it's not gonna have a spare needle hanging around? This isn't even close to accurate. Now, nothing's decided yet, but in terms of just sticking with the sandbox discussion, because, you know, I'm filling time while I'm wandering around. This is not correct. Now, I could just sort of, fumble around a little bit because I am rusty. I'm a little rusty. It's gonna be like riding a bike, but nothing's quite so fresh as it once was. Regardless, I could probably get with that a little bit, but I wanna try and like explore things I haven't done, or like I never figured out. Like I don't know if I've ever made a proper car. I think about that a lot. Like throw on wheels, they got the directions. You know what a car is. But like I guess I've also never really don't like that. That's not gonna be good. I never really played with wiring. That's one. That's a big one. Okay. The click corresponds to the hand. So maybe I wire something? Got it. Understood. I've also got one, like, super background idea. I want to see if you can adjust buoyancy, or it's probably just like you can change materials to make things buoyant, and then I could make like a boat. Which that would just be like a, they'd be like, yeah, you pull out the, what's that called? The like, see, I'm rusty. Here's the rust comes in. It's the, it's not the prop gun, that's not what it's called, but it's the sandbox, you know? It's the one that makes you do all the things. I usually use that to change material, and hopefully it doesn't change the like look of it, because buoyant is like wood. Wood's what comes to mind, and that's just, it. Wood's the planks. The planks look stupid, but I could probably also just experiment with other materials. Be so fine. I didn't get the bus. I feel like that's not enough, but also I don't really want to. I don't want to reload that right now, so we're gonna do this instead. Okay. What? Okay, we're fine. That was easy. What? What? I don't like your temporary drop. Pick this up. Classroom key. They're making me drop things. You've got to be kidding. What do I drop? You can't expect me to drop something. What? I really don't want to drop this, but it's about all I have left. And I just need the nightstick. You're not going to catch me hitting things. I'm not going to punch, or maybe I will punch or pistol whip. Maybe that's what I'd be doing. I'm not doing that. You know what? No. If push comes to shove, that's not gonna happen. My last resort is going to... What was that? Alright. Those are both from the ground. Please stay there until I get back. So first things first, I'm going to search for the locked door. And while I search for the locked door, I want to mention, I do recognize the irony in me saying classroom. glass for key. Okay, that's the classroom. Got it. I recognize the irony in me saying that I'm not going to spoil the one thing and then going on and saying all my plans for the Garry's Mod. But that's different because we already knew this was going to happen. We knew Garry's Mod was coming. Now I just get to be like, how did I get here? We get to just have fun, you know? Be like, this is what's coming. This is a magic trick. Besides, if there's anything in particular that for some reason, they could be like, oh, you should like pop balloons. I don't know why you'd want that, but like, the door's open now. This is an open discussion. Don't use that this time. Impossible. You can't use that. So yeah, I mean, that's... If there's anything in particular that for some reason you were like, this could be cool, I can at least consider it. This is a group effort. Alright. Okay. Alright. I win these. It's easy. I have no health, and that's fine. I'll be fine. I know where I'm going. Alright. I think I've exhausted my my incessant rambling topics. So we're just we're gonna montage this until I can finally get through this segment. I use the screwdriver, I wait, I grab the fuse, I turn around, I realize the light's off, I go through the door. Okay, you spawn in. No, I don't know where you... I don't understand, and I have no health to really experiment. Remember when I was excited for this? What happened? What happened to being excited for this place? Where's the heroin? Okay. No! Stuck on it. The running is so awful. It's got momentum. Oh. We're closer. You know, I think a lot about shortening these recordings, but cool rabbit. But I feel like that would just be terrible. At the very least, it would like add 50 episodes, and that seems excessive. But also, I don't feel like I should have like brief segments for this. I don't even know how much game is left. I feel like there's so much left, and there probably isn't. Not to mention, I kind of just I'm kind of not all about the idea that like that longer formats are not that good. I think they're fun. I think long formats are way fun. And this is even long format. This is like medium. Medium's great. I'm a medium fan. There's been some longer. I think I've been close to 30. 30 minutes is a little excessive, but I like to be minimalistic. Keeps the what? Keeps the spirit and soul alive and well and thriving. Let's do this again. Unless. Now we'll do it again. I'm stuck on nothing. Okay, so now just gotta... This is not the right timing. I didn't know this is where I was going. Not ideal. I don't know if I'm doing anything. It is entirely possible for me to reload a save and then get here with more health. Because I know exactly... I remember where my health all went, and it was entirely my fault. However, that's not in the spirit of the game. I chose difficult, and I played poorly. Therefore, I don't get to go through this very easily. Now I can take a moment. I'm gonna get my stamina back. Nobody will bother me. They're polite. Okay. Now, I just go left. I go left, it'll be okay. And when I get in the classroom, I'm going to shoot the glass in case of key. What? It's not anything. Oh. Isn't that just so nice? Look at that. Really gives you hope, doesn't it? No. What was in there? Wait. I saw that. There's like a thing. There's a place. Maybe there's something in that place. What's this? I don't know why I won't even try. Okay. Shoot glass in case of key. Shoot glass in case of key. What's in there? Nothing. That didn't do anything. That was experimental. And somebody should be in front of me. I really want that to stun. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do I need to shoot glass in case of key? I might actually not have to. Wrong. No, what? There's nothing. What is doing that? It's official. Not only am I dumb for doing the very thing that I'm always telling myself the correct order of. The click corresponds to the hand. I'm just using some. What? There's just so many times where dual wield has been. How am I doing this? There's so many times where dual wield does not correspond to the hand. So I did it again. But also. Actually, that's all I remember. Oh! Nightstick just has to be in my hand. It's not really worth having a gun. They don't really do anything. I didn't get the costume. How am I supposed to be cool and awesome and dressed? This is where I walk. Just to regain some stam. Got what? There's somebody in there. Why is there somebody here? I don't even care. I don't care. Oh, you didn't have to hit it. You just had to do that. Wait, what? That means I have to turn right? Is this right? I think this is right. Uh-oh. Then it's that door. I'm not ready for this. No! Oh. I can grab the hoodie. It's not there. Game stage changed. That's so not fair. That's so unbelievable. Why is there like a chair there? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so what have we learned? The game's not as interactive as you might think. You cannot break glass in case of key. You just press E on key in case of key. Noted. I also have to go all the way back. Not my favorite detail, however. C'est la vie. Now I've got the Age of Mythology hoodie. That means karma's up. This is the one. I've got all the information I need. I've put my karma to an all-time high. All I have to do is get the fuse and get out of here. Okay, phase 1. Now I get my stamina back, grab the key, get out of here. I could just break this glass. I don't really know what we're... Why are we wasting time? You know? Just break the glass. Nobody's gonna stop me. What? They're just so inconsistent. I don't know. You know, I bet it didn't take Markiplier 1 hour, 30 minutes to an hour to get the fuse. I bet he played on normal or easy. He didn't get stuck on nothing like I just did. He just did the watermelon challenge. It's gonna happen again. It's gonna be a guy. No guy? What? Uh-oh. Oh, how did this happen? Age of Mythology. Let me go get this screwdriver to get the fuse so I can get through here. Get through there. Go through that door. Actually, hang on. But when I go through that door, I get the key. And with the key, I go to the classroom. When I go through the classroom, see, that's where things get crazy. When you go through the classroom, you get the fire escape. That's left. That's when you get the fire escape. You get the fire escape key to the fire escape. That's the one that's over there. Then you open the fire escape, you go through there, and maybe it's done. I don't know, because there might be another key. Or for all I know, there's another key, right? I bet all those clocks are in the same time. And it's either because it's an old asset or because it's supposed to mean something. It's probably because it's an old asset and they don't make... I mean, did they ever make clocks move? Why would you? Just completely unnecessary resources, you know? Cool poster, I guess. I don't know. It's like a mermaid. Phase 1. Initiate. Hello? There we go. We're back. Yes, the game crashed. That was pretty cool. This is taking so long. Maybe I get the Gmod out earlier than I thought. Maybe I just go right into that after this. I don't know. What do I know? Can't even get a fuse. Okay, we didn't crash. Now we get the key and we get our stand back. Big. Just gotta... Okay, there's a guy. There's a guy there. I'm trying to sort of understand where they come from. There's somebody coming through that door. Got it. Now I think I can walk here. Get some stamina. That's not good. It's like, why are you there, though? Why are you there? For what purpose are you there? Okay, I can see. Through here, through there. If you're careful with your corners, with your turns, it's very easy to run. It's a very strange run that you have to play around. It's the kind of thing you pick up over years of struggling. And I'm only referring to Cry of Fear. That's fine. Go! Thank you. Okay. Nothing? Somebody might come... That's not good. I don't know if that'll work for me. I don't think I can manage, but I have to try because there's no other option. But I have to go left. Wait, there's a chance. Oh. We've come so far. We really have. We figured out how to not make loading zones like that. See, it's so close to something. I don't know why there's a loading zone. What's the purpose of the loading zone? If they're right there, they can face the door and they can hit me. See, whenever I see a loading zone, you know what I think? I see a loading zone, I think this is a new area and he's loaded in. What's this loading zone for? I couldn't tell you. Why are we loading? What are we loading? It's already loaded because they're out there. I can see them. I can see them through the windows. That means they're loaded, which means are you loading as a playable area? That doesn't make any sense because there's still entities active. What do I know though, right? What do I don't make anything. What do I know? How can they hit me if I'm not there? It's a loading screen. Why are they there? Phase 1, initiate. I'm out. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. What? Why are you there? This is new. You're not supposed to be there. Oh, didn't get the Age of Mythology hoodie. That's not even what it is. I don't even know what AOM means. I just say Age of Mythology because that's what I recognize as AOM. Age of Mythology. You know about Age of Mythology? Boy, what a game is that. That is. What a game that is. Age of Mythology. If you're familiar with Age of Empires, which some people are, usually Age of Empires 2, probably. Nobody likes Age of Empires 3. I think it's alright, but probably not for, like, multiplayer. I think they're pretty good, like, campaigns, but that's not... People want to play Age of Mythology, and just RTSs in general, for the multiplayer experience, like PvP, right? And I understand that, honestly, because there's some pretty interesting gameplay within RTS. They're real-time strategy games, if you're not familiar. But Age of Mythology, see, you build up units just like Age of Empires, and like any RTS, really, that's just sort of the genre. But instead of things like well, they're still artillery sort of. But the special thing about mythology is that you can generate faith. You can use faith to like go into your temples and stuff, and you can pay whatever pantheon you choose to give you units and upgrades. And it's very interesting. It's a very good gameplay. I don't know how it translates to PvP though, because I don't really see people play it in PvP, and I don't have any friends to play RTSs against. So what do I know? I don't know how it translates. I don't know. But it's very fun to play. In fact, Egypt has like big scarabs. They're fun. There's like alligators, there's crocodiles. They have like sunbeams. I died. I'm thinking of getting into RTS PvP. You may be wondering, why does he say PvP? It's a very strange way to refer to it. I don't know. I've always played the single player stuff, right? I've been considering it a lot recently. But I'm doing so much. I'm playing a lot of strategy games. What happened to me? That's a weird thing to say, as if that's like a bad thing. What happened to me is more so like, oh, I started playing ranked League of Legends. That's bad. Then that's what happened to me. Then that's like, I've got to seek help. And I guess I'm considering like a ranked RTS, but I don't want to get like super into it. I don't want to I don't like meta. I don't like playing meta. It's very boring to me. I wouldn't say boring, but like it doesn't feel. In the same way I keep things very like limited, minimal. Like I said, I want to keep the soul in things, and so I don't typically get too concerned with meta, and that's a big thing for if you're trying to play like ranked anything. You're competing, so you have to understand what people do and how things interact, and you have to know what is best suited for what. I understand that much. I understand why meta exists. It's not just some random arbitrary thing. It is calculated, and honestly, it's designed. And so I understand it. I understand it existing, like I said. But regardless, I want to play the rank just because I feel like it'd be fun to sort of climb ranks. You know, it's a certain sort of a it alters the experience. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that I want to become a super high rank in anything necessarily. It's just more so the experience of playing the game and climbing the rank and seeing how you scale. Fair, even. I think that's interesting, and I might pick up one or two RTS games. Probably going to be Warcraft 3. I've got a lot of history with that one. I like the hero aspect. They had very interesting dynamics because they pick up items and stuff, and so you grab their abilities and you decide and you run around. You level them by creeping, and it's very cool. I like the Warcraft 3 gameplay. I really do. That's not great. I don't like you. I'm dead. I could have just backed up for a second, and I could have been fine. I wouldn't say it's necessarily reflected in anything that I've been releasing, because I've done my very best to keep things consistent, right? But recently I've just sort of been occupied. and so I'm not really in the market to pick anything up that's like super involved or long term, which means that in my sort of spare time kind of thing, we'll go with that, spare time, whenever it's sort of me doing my own thing, I have once again picked up, I'm playing Warhammer 3, Total War Warhammer 3. A lot of people are into like the 40k. I don't like, it's like space. I don't really care about the space aspect, but there's a but playing, I'm a big fantasy friend. Who says that? I'm a big fantasy fan, and so having a grand strategy plus RTS strategy. What? Grand strategy plus real-time strategy. It's grand strategy and RTS. I'm muddling my words. Having that exist in a fantasy setting, and Warhammer is a very fleshed out fantasy setting, a lot of cool characters and stuff. So it is fun to play. So I've been playing that recently. That's pretty cool. My goal is to get a win with. See, my goal is to get a win with every race, and there's quite a few. I don't remember the count, but there's like 3 columns of maybe 8. Wait, 24. 24 feels, I don't know. Let's find out. Yes, it's 8. So there's like 24 total races, and there's many factions within those races. I don't need to do every faction. There was a moment where I think I considered it. That would be psychotic. So instead, I'm sort of thinking I want to just go through each race, get a win, which means I get to choose whatever faction I'm feeling at the moment, and then you get an achievement for winning each one, and that just seems then I get to be satisfied I got each of the achievements. I recently got through with a very painful over 200 turn. So I've recently gotten done with a very long and painful campaign. Like I said, it was over 200 turns, which is actually a lot of time if you're not familiar with that kind of gameplay. And I suppose you could probably assume that over 200 turns, that's a lot. It's a bit of a time sink. It was just sort of an unfortunate scenario where I turned on certain winning victory conditions, so I could actually get a campaign victory and get the achievement I was talking about. And unfortunately, though, there's like a pool of like major events that can kick in at a certain turn number. You can choose which turn numbers you want. You can make it a range. It's a fun mechanic. It's an interesting mechanic that gives you a win condition. That's why I use it, because then I can just sort of build up. I can get a feel for what the faction or the race does. I sort of get a foothold. I do my thing, and then all of a sudden, bang! It kicks in, and you can get like there's short campaign victories, there's long campaign victories. They're personalized for each. I think probably each of the races, but probably all. Maybe just the factions, but that's not a big detail. I don't think they really give you a win con the way that you need. So I'm just sort of stuck with what I'm doing, and once again, it's fun. I'm completely okay with it. However, the one I got just sort of multiplied a few. There was 3 factions I had to take out, and it just made them super strong. So these like disasters, I think that's what they're called disasters. I don't really know exactly what they do, but usually from what I've experienced, and I say usually, I mean probably every single time, they choose a faction in the game, and then they just sort of multiply its strength in some way, or they give it an event. I don't know, like I said. But this one, it targeted 3 of them, and they just sort of all conquered massive tracts of land. And so I had to take all 3 of those out, or I had to vassalize. And vassalize is possible if, I haven't done it, I believe if your strength outweighs theirs enough. And here's the issue. The faction I was playing could not vassalize. Why couldn't they vassalize? That was because the faction I chose could not do any sort of diplomatic action, because they were like a mercenary faction. It's a very cool mechanic, I thought, and so that's why I chose them. However, here we were. I couldn't circumvent the combat portion. Very unfortunate for me. Now, as a result of this unfortunate happening, it just so happened that my campaign length was just multiplied exponentially, because I had to take out these 3, like... one of the factions owned an entire continent, and so I sort of had to contend with that, and I was already pretty small. You would think, I mean, it seemed like the guys I was playing were sort of scaled up to be like that. They played very unique. You didn't exactly want to conquer territory, more so you wanted to build up camps, and these camps, they were your big movers. I don't get super into learning. There's probably ways to like optimize it, but for a millionth time, I don't like to play super. I don't like to optimize. I don't like to meta game. I just like to experience casually, figure things out on my own. I think it's a more interesting way to experience things. So yeah, that was sort of a thing. And you know, there's the part about an RTS. The RTS will make AIs in this game so that you can actually, like, single player, there's something to go up against. There's CPUs. However, they lack a brain, which sounds like a stupid thing to say, but because they lack a brain, typically, and when I say typically, I mean probably every single time, the CPU enemies, they get handicaps, which is like, I don't know if it makes them stronger, but I know it helps out with the resources and stuff, because they just don't play as well, and so they have to have more resources, and they have to be able to have more units on their side. It's a whole thing. There's no way you were right there. So the handicaps are definitely a necessity, but I think because of them, as long as some other limitations, like you can't really, they don't really play smart. And oddly enough, whenever you don't like super optimize how you interact with the enemy AI, if they don't play smart, you can't play smart. You can't really strategize against somebody who just sends all the units forward and then does really weird things. Because like if I say, okay, they've got archers, I want to target their archers, it doesn't really matter because everybody's moving forward. I can't try and predict their movements because it's dumb. And you would think that that would mean it's easy. It's easier because they just hold W, but for some reason I must not be smart enough to combat that or something. I think I want things to be more interesting, and therefore I don't dumb myself down enough. And that's not even to say I'm all that smart to begin with. But I play a strategy game, so you know I must count for something. That's not good. That's bad. Just a cry of fear through my firewall. They're probably downloading me right now. So without a doubt, multiplayer Total War, and I'll say Warhammer 3 because I play Warhammer 3, but without a doubt, the multiplayer experience for honestly strategy games in general, the multiplayer experience is more interesting. However, the single player PvE sort of thing, there's a lot more capabilities with that. You can do a lot sort of interesting mechanics that wouldn't work in a PvP setting because it's supposed to make up for the lack of interesting gameplay on account of the lack of the ability to think through a move. And that's also the thing, is that these factions that I'm playing, the mercenary contracts, you can't really do that in a PvP setting. I mean, you could say like, I want you to do this, but then you might as well just discuss it like for realsies, because you have a voice, right? You have brains, you have a voice, you can just talk about it. And then you can just accept payment and then you do it. It's that simple. So you don't need a mercenary contract, right? Yeah. Try and get me. I'm much too fast. In fact, wrong? No, that was right. Like, oh, what? Okay. Right. Got it. No? So yeah, I guess until I get introduced to a whole new group of people who are okay with having a DLC simulator such as Total War Warhammer 3, I'm just gonna be stuck with the single player experience, which is fine for me. I'm okay with the single player. I'm used to the single player experience in all of these scenarios. Of course, there's ranked battles in Total War. They're not really a campaign. The campaign's sort of the fun part, but then you can do the battles. You sort of like it's like. You're given a budget, which is how the tabletop game is played, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't really played it, nor really seen much of it. I don't know if I'm interested in it either, because it sounds like a big investment for something I'm not all that into, and I don't really want to play it with the people who seem to play it. A whole host of reasons. I'm probably not going to get into the tabletop game of Warhammer, Warhammer 40k, any of that. Warhammer Fantasy, I suppose, what I referred to it the first time, not just flat Warhammer. But regardless, you seem to have a sort of a budget, and then you have to fill that budget, and each unit has a different cost. They have different, you know, values, because then you can't go over budget. I'm gonna die here because I have some stamina. So basically, each unit has its price, and you decide which ones are worth your money. Pretty basic concept. Of course, it's my understanding that the Beastmen are meta in this setting, and that I don't really know why, honestly. I mean, it's not that they're bad, it's just that I would have expected it. I don't really know what they do so special. Maybe it's a charge bonus, but then in that case, maybe it would have been the ogre. I thought ogres might have been. So I think ogres are like, I didn't get the key. Who didn't unpause this? So like I was trying to say, to understand what's special about ogre, you understand a basic function of the game. That is the charge bonus. The charge bonus is pretty self-explanatory. It is the bonus to a unit's damage if it charges into battle. I don't know if this is an additive or if it's multiplicative, but it exists, right? And the existence of a charge bonus incentivizes the existence of charge defense. Okay. You suck. I don't have the key. Charge defense is something else I don't totally understand, and I think I knew more of it before, and I just forgot. It's not a detail I really did remember, necessarily. But I believe charge defense is probably like a flat 50% reduction. There is expert charge defense, which I believe could be a 100% negation. That's pretty strong. You don't really see it a lot, I don't think. But not really important, because you see, the quality of ogre charge is instead of that 50%, it's only going to be at 25%. That's I think it's a sort of a thing that the ogre charge will always do the 25%, not that 50%. Can't really reduce it as much, which means it's a stronger charge, but only if it's defense. So maybe they don't have, maybe they just have a buffed charge, but they don't have that strong of charges. And so maybe the Beastmen have a strong charge, which means they can go in, they can sweep. But I just feel like that's the only thing they do. They're sort of a blitz mechanic. You get what I'm saying? What I should do is try and understand sort of the gameplay, the meta a little more. I think there's a lot of... Anybody? I think there's a lot of boring meta picks that are like insta wins because of how balanced they are. I don't follow it. I've seen like one thing just because I was kind of curious. So maybe I should follow it a little more and then I can get into it so I can understand the inner work. That's what I want to do, is really I want to sort of understand things to a degree where I can load up a rank to understand what makes everything tick so that I can directly try and combat that. Not like combat it necessarily, but act accordingly, as in against it. But if I'm acting against it, oh my gosh, it's raining. To act against it, I just sort of need the ability to understand it, because then you gotta understand how something works to break it down. That's not entirely true, but surely you understand what I'm saying. A glorious save. Well, I made it through. I got the fuse. I would love to go on with this, but we've hit over an hour. This probably, I don't know if I can edit this down much. I ended up rambling a lot because it felt interesting. I didn't think it was going to take me that long. I can't just cut all of it out. What's that going to do? It's going to be terrible. Yikes.